You might find yourself wondering right now what it would be like to simply let go. And as you do, as you begin to notice the rhythm of your own breath, I wonder if you ever realised that change is already happening, isn't it? And isn't it interesting how the very things we once believed were limitations, they're really just illusions waiting to dissolve? Because you already know on some deep unconscious level that sincerity and honesty, they're not weakness, but rather the ultimate strengths. That when you step into your truth, when you show up as your most authentic, congruent self, something remarkable happens. People don't read your mind, they feel your presence. They don't see vulnerability, they see sincerity. And the more certain you become, the more the world bends to your reality. And you might be wondering how deeply this realization is sinking in now. Because for so long, maybe without realizing it, you carried an idea that vulnerability meant exposure, that honesty meant risk, that sincerity left you open to attack. What if the opposite was true? What if true power comes from owning everything you are? What if being completely honest and open is actually the most disarming, most irresistible, most unshakable force there is? Because the moment you accept yourself fully, you take away anyone's power to shake you. And so you might begin to see all those old beliefs, those unnecessary rules, the ones that kept you small. They were never really yours to begin with, were they? Because you weren't born with them. They were given to you, imposed upon you, like a suit that was too tight, a voice that wasn't yours, a mask that never fit. And now you can feel that mask dissolving, can't you? And as you do, you begin to remember something important. You see, the power of influence, it's not about convincing or arguing or needing approval. It's about how well you can hold your own version of reality. Because the one who doubts less wins more. The one who holds their frame stronger shapes the conversation. And the more you accept that truth, the more you realise that approval, validation, praise, completely irrelevant. Because those who seek validation become needy. And those who need nothing are magnetic. So you don't have to chase approval anymore, do you? Because something interesting happens. When you stop needing people to approve of you, they start gravitating towards you. And perhaps now you can recognise something deeper. That old idea that you had to be tough, unshakable, cocky, suppressing everything, was never about strength. It was about fear, wearing the mask of confidence. And what happens when you take off that mask? When you realise that real strength, it's in owning your emotions, rather than running from them. What happens when you stop proving yourself and simply be yourself? Because deep down you already know. The more you embrace everything you are, the more unstoppable you become. As you take this in, as this realisation settles deeper into your mind, you might wonder how different everything feels now. Isn't it strange how easily change happens when you stop trying to change and instead just allow it? Because maybe, just maybe, the more you let go, the further you can go. And you already know that now, don't you? Because you might begin to wonder, what if all those things you believed about yourself, all those rules that you clung to, weren't really yours? What if they were just illusions? And isn't it fascinating how an idea can seem so real until it suddenly isn't? Because right now, in this very moment, something's shifting. Because for so long, perhaps not even realising it, you held on to the idea that to be honest was to be vulnerable, that to be authentic was to be exposed, that to be real was to risk rejection. But isn't it strange how the opposite is actually true? Because when you own your truth completely, something incredible happens. People stop challenging you. They stop questioning you. They feel something different, something undeniable, something unshakable. Because the ones who doubt the least control the conversation the most. And you already know this, don't you? Because if someone were to ask you now, how do you know you have to fear confrontation? Or what makes you think vulnerability is weakness? Or even, who told you honesty is dangerous? You'd realise you don't actually have an answer. Because the truth is that fear, it was never yours to begin with. It was given to you by the voice of the past, the voices that no longer matter. And as you realise that now, something inside you lets go. Because the more you release, the lighter you become. And the lighter you become, the freer you are. And the freer you are, the more you can finally breathe. And perhaps you've already begun to notice that all the seriousness you used to carry was just an illusion of control. A game you thought you had to play. What if you never had to play at all? What if the more you relax, the more magnetic you become? What if the more playful you are, the more people gravitate towards you? What if the less you try, the more effortlessly everything flows? Because you can already feel it, that energy inside you shifting, that feeling of letting go, like a river finally allowed to flow freely. Because you don't have to overthink anymore, do you? And as you begin to accept this now, something even more fascinating happens. Because if people don't remember what you say, if they only remember how you made them feel, then doesn't it make sense to feel amazing in every moment? Doesn't it make sense to become the most alive, present, magnetic version of yourself? And as this realization locks in now, something inside you shifts permanently. Because the more you let go, the further you go. And the further you go, the freer you become. And isn't it fascinating how easily this transformation happens when you simply allow it? Because maybe, just maybe, that is who you're always meant to be all along. And now you already know, don't you?